Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakodash, Barakathom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. In peace and salutations to Ya'akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Raya with another video, and this is going to be another video dealing with the mark of the beast, which is that microchip implant. 2019 has been deemed the year of the Karagma, or the year Esau really pushes for that chip. And with all this information coming out about the microchip implant, we're seeing how Esau Edom, the so-called white man, that red Hebrew Edomite, is diligently making an effort towards making that microchip implant more acceptable in society until he eventually makes it mandatorily implemented. But I'm going to start things off with an article on the organicprepper.com titled Smartphones, Smart Appliances, Smart People, Brain Chip, or that mark in the forehead, will create super intelligent humans. And that's at least what they want you to think. What if you could have a chip installed in your brain that would increase your intelligence? Would you be interested? While this kind of brain-computer interface technology might sound like something out of a dystopian science fiction novel, scientists are working hard to develop it and have already developed it. They've had brain chip technology for quite a while now, and it will likely be available in the near future. This gives a whole new meaning to the phrase smart person. Scientists are currently developing smart chips for the human brain. In an interview with CBS Chicago, Northwestern University neuroscientist and business professor Dr. Moran Cerf said he is working on a smart chip for the brain. In as little as 5 years, super smart people could be walking down the street. Men and women who have paid to increase their intelligence, the report states. That's one of the myriad of reasons Esau's going to use to sell this chip to the population at large. Look, you can be a super smart person, the top of the food chain, and you can see how they've been programming you people for this for quite a while through MK Ultra, through those movies you watch. Look at that movie Limitless, for example. That guy was an average Joe, got that smart pill, and became a millionaire, getting all the women. And with people operating on such a base level now to where they only think about eating, sleeping, working, and screwing, they're going to do anything they can to break up that monotony. This is Revelation chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by those miracles, speaking of Esau Edom's technological miracles, such as brain chip implants that allowed people to have a superhuman intellect, which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by a sword and did live. And that beast is referring to the reincarnated Roman Empire, that EU NATO alliance which the U.S. is a part of, Esau Edom's political, financial, and military system, which, as you can see, most of the world has been taken up in, with people wearing business suits and shaving their faces and using Esau's terminologies. I'm going to skip around this article a bit and come to around here. How long until brain-computer interfaces become a way of life? Much sooner than you think. As much as they sound like the stuff of science fiction, brain implants and other types of neural links, such as brain-computer interfaces between the brain and the internet, are rapidly becoming reality. Last month, we reported that a team of neuroengineers at Columbia University created a mind-reading system that uses artificial intelligence to translate people's thoughts into intelligible, recognizable speech. And China is already deploying emotional surveillance technology that mines data from the mind of its citizens. Essentially, they're data mining by reading their brains, Meadow Clark explained. And while the cover story for technologies such as this is that it's going to be a benefit to humanity, making people smarter, what have you, there's much more nefarious means behind it. It's all for Esau Edom to control every aspect of you people's lives. And if you buck up to this coming New World Order, they'll just turn off your chip and it'll be game over for you. They've been working on this plan for quite a while. I'm going to jump to this video on Truth Stream Media titled Davos Elite Reveal Orwellian Plan to Decode Your Brain and Read Your Mind. Now that brain chip implant doesn't sound too good, does it?
Elite meetings. It takes place annually where minions of the oligarchy get together and they smell each other's farts and talk about us poor little people and how they're going to make the world a better place because they're really smart and they have all the money and power, so they totally know what's best for everyone else. Obviously, when you consider how many years they've been meeting and how great the world has become because of it. It's a lot like Bilderberg. Just a bunch of elite getting together to sprinkle roses and magical sparkly unicorn chunks across the land. The difference is while Bilderberg meetings are secret, Davos is filmed and it's released to the public. So when they talk about us and them, which is prevalent in every single thing they do, they have to be a little bit more polite about it. So this is called What If Your Brain Confesses?
And what the social effects might be as scientists begin to work more with lawyers using technologies like brain mapping, different ways of scanning the brain and incorporating those into trials, into the legal system, and having this influence basically how social justice is parceled out.
They're talking about the next generation of technology that's going to basically be used against the public. We're talking about some real Minority Report level Orwellian nightmare stuff here.
You know, the brain is a
brain chip implants that can read people's emotions and thoughts.
A spatiotemporal device, right? It's a blob of meat that computes.
I think you guys need to hear this because this is the kind of stuff that they're talking about and the way they're talking about it.
There's a huge government program now to increase measurement technology for neuroscience. As it helps basic research and we can measure the brain better, that will have applications in brain decoding and interpretation of brain function that will be applicable to the law.
And this lady, Faruha or whatever her name is, she just giggles and laughs the whole time like she's half drunk. Maybe she is, I don't know, but she just thinks this is hilarious. So I've really cut her down a lot because I already had to watch it twice to do this edit, and I pretty much can't stand her voice at all now. They're talking about how they can decode your brain.
What we're trying to figure out is how to decode the signals of the brain.
To figure out what you're thinking.
Anything that is in current conscious awareness can potentially be decoded.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of technologies.
What you're feeling, what you're seeing.
If you watch a movie, we can reconstruct the movie, right? Which is sort of a poor, dreamlike image of the movie. We can reconstruct the objects and actions in the movie just from your brain. We can reconstruct how you felt about the movie. Did it make you happy? Did it make you sad? Because valence information is available.
Reading your thoughts.
Thoughts and feelings that you may not be able to verbalize or you may not want to verbalize. And they may still leave a signature in your brain. And we might be able to decode that.
And doing it without your permission.
Those certain forms of mind reading, I think, for the most part today, requires the consent of an individual. If we could get to the point where either you can have an unwilling suspect or an unwilling individual having their brain decoded in some sense, legal systems don't bake in any presumption that we can do that, and so there's no legal protections that could be afforded to you. And so if you look nationally, internationally, at whether or not there are any human rights, if there's any constitutional protections for something like freedom of thought or mental privacy or cognitive liberty, nothing like that exists yet.
Decoding your internal speech.
We can build models of various aspects of language, phonetics and syntax and semantics, and then once you have those models, you can actually decode language. Now, of course, the obvious application of that is decoding internal speech. And once you decode internal speech, then you essentially have the sort of worst possible brain decoding device, or best possible, depending on your view. Certainly the most controversial brain decoding device.
Depends on your point of view.
It'll be so much fun when we decode everyone's internal speech. Do you see what I'm saying? Look how they're laughing about this like it's just the most hilarious thing ever. This is the kind of stuff that the bad guy at Inspector Gadget sits in the big leather chair and strokes a white cat giggling about at night.
Get you next time, Gadget. Next time.
And they're in there having a nice chat about it. Like, it's just going to be so great when we live in a world where this is the kind of technology they're using against people. and that the legal system has no protections for you.
We have the privilege against self-incrimination, but that's the spoken words that you speak against yourself. This isn't so far-fetched. There were a few cases that were highly publicized out of India where a different type of technology was used, where a person's brain essentially was queried, they remained silent, and the responses that their brain provided were used against them for the purpose of